Adam Taxon, main administrator of the Daily Beck page on Facebook here. From the end of the first hour of Glenn Beck's Tuesday, June 5th, 2012 show, here's a discussion about the Obama administration's essential war on not only coal, but coal communities. Very informative. I really should know more about it, being a Pennsylvania resident, though, and really not from coal country, Pennsylvania. And it follows the interesting discussion of fracking, which I have up as a separate YouTube video, a discussion of the economics of the fracking industry and why it's hard for fracking companies to make money despite, or perhaps because of, plentiful natural gas. So here is a discussion of the Obama administration's war on coal and coal communities in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Kentucky in particular.
The EPA is after everybody now. Anybody who's trying to produce energy. Fracking is dangerous. Is it? Really? Here's the additional problem. The coal industry, which is the Obama administration is trying to put out of business, a lot of them took their coal-fired plants and converted them over to natural gas-fired plants, knowing that fracking had just changed the game entirely. But now that natural gas has to necessarily skyrocket, what do we do with the coal-fired plants that are no longer coal-fired plants? They're natural gas plants. All the while that this is playing out, all the while we have an American success story playing out and nobody's talking about it, all the while we have natural gas coming out of our ears, that we are an energy leader, clean energy leader. Nobody says anything about it. And the EPA is starting to hammer, knowingly, go in and shut down whole communities because of the Obama regulation. On the Blaze, the lead story right now is EPA Region Number 1 Administrator Kurt Spaulding says law and policy require the EPA to stomp coal plants out of business. Listen to this.
But no, right now, we are struggling. We're struggling because we're trying to do our jobs. And Lisa Jackson has put forth a very powerful message to the country. Just 2 days ago, the decision on greenhouse gas performance standard and saying basically gas plants are the performance standard, which means if you want to build a coal plant, you got a big problem. Oh. That was a huge decision. You can't imagine how tough that was. Because you got to remember, if you go to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and all those places, you have coal communities who depend on coal. Mm-hmm. And to say we just think those communities should just go away, we can't do that. But she had to do what the law and policy suggested. And it's painful. It's painful every step of the way.
Okay, stop. I want you to understand what he just said.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
He's not talking about really even the pain of the West Virginia communities or the Pennsylvania communities. He's talking about his own pain.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was really hard on us that we had to shut these people down and destroy their lives.
We're struggling now. We're struggling because we have to go stomp
Are you kidding me?
Whole communities out and say, quote, you as a community, I mean, he's not talking about the community of of coal-fired plants. He's talking about an actual community, towns. You just have to go away.
Yeah, but he's the victim.
I know.
Not them.
It hurts me so much to tell you
to do that.
I'm going to have to kick you out of your house and shut your whole town down.
I'm destroying your life completely, and it really hurts me to have to do that. Oh, I'm in pain. Don't you people understand my pain? Yes, you're without a home in a community. I had to tell you that. I hurt. Okay?
It's amazing.
It's a staggering.
I've never heard anything. And where if the media cared about West Virginia, if they cared about the parts of Pennsylvania that weren't rural, you know, they have coal miners. Do they even have televisions? Do they have teeth? Do they have anything going for them? No, we don't really care about those people, so they don't cover it. They'll be surprised when there's no electricity to run their stupid televisions, so you can watch Diane Sawyer on television. in the major markets, when there's no power to power the skyscrapers of Manhattan. They'll be surprised. What happened? How is this out of control? I don't know. Remember when you were stomping those communities out of existence? When you told whole communities, think of this. This is not just shutting down an industry. This is stomping out the entire community. We were just in Pittsburgh last week. What would it take now to say, oh, man, you know what? We were wrong on the steel industry. Let's start that back.
Impossible.
Impossible.
I mean, to get us anywhere near the level it was.
You wouldn't be able to do it. And how much money would it? You've taken all of that infrastructure, destroyed it, and made it into a park. You've destroyed it and shipped it someplace else. You don't just shut down an industry and then restart. This isn't something like you make this mistake and go, oh, man, we shut down the coal industry. That was a mistake. You know what? Call them back up and tell them we're going to buy some more coal.
And they don't think it's a mistake. This was a campaign promise, if you remember, from Barack Obama.
So if somebody wants to build a coal power plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
I want you to hear again, play again. This again is the top EPA official inadvertently telling the truth about the White House environmental agenda and what it actually means to real people.
But no, right now, we are struggling. We're struggling because we're trying to do our jobs. And Lisa Jackson has put forth a very powerful message to the country. Just 2 days ago, the decision on greenhouse gas performance standard and saying basically gas plants are the performance standard, which means if you want to build a coal plant, you got a big problem. That was a huge decision. You can't imagine how tough that was. Because you got to remember, if you go to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and all those places, you have coal communities who depend on coal. And to say we just think those communities should just go away, we can't do that. But she had to do what the law and policy suggested.
That is great. To just say those communities have to go away, we can't do that. But we did anyway. So
we have to follow the policy of the president.
That's what he said.
I know.
We can't do that, but we did because it's the law. So,
wake up, America.
Wow.
Wake your neighbors up. Another 4 years of this is going to kill us. It's going to absolutely kill us.
How is Pennsylvania even considered a swing state in the selection?
I have no idea.